New emerging industry of oil and gas need to be managed in the manner that maximizes benefit for all Namibians. It's a new industry. It needs closer supervision. Therefore, the management of this industry will fall under the office of the president.
Hello good people, I hope you are all doing fine and amazing. Welcome to African Commentary. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Please consider subscribing, liking and sharing the videos. I'll really appreciate. Hereby we learn and grow every day. And today we are going to talk about this phenomenal woman. Oh my, I've just heard some of her speeches and I already love her despite me not knowing her on a personal level. But this is a great woman and I am talking about none other than Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah. Yeah. The first female president of Namibia. She was just put in office some few months ago. And this woman is really doing so much that African presidents are not even ready to do for their countries. I love her already, and so today we are going to speak about her. Before I speak much, let's watch some of her videos, some of her speeches, and then I'm going to give my 2 cents at the end of the video. I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much.
It's a good thing that we as a nations, as countries, we are realizing that just as men, women can also hold the position of authority.
Do you feel that there are extra expectations from you, considering that you are a female leader?
Unfortunately, the emphasis now is not on Netumbo the person. The emphasis is on women. But if anything then happen, like what it can happen in any administration under men that we see them, they will also, those who will not talk about Netumbo, but rather says, look at women. So that's to a certain extent is a pressure, but I would want to lead in the way I feel is the best for the Namibian people.
We saw what recently happened in Nigeria. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Adwogan says she's been facing sexual harassment at work. So I wonder what goes through your mind when you hear stories like these, especially in relation to this particular topic.
We are hearing it all over the world that women are being sexually victimized. You are hearing women being asked sex favor in order maybe to be employed or to be promoted. And of course, it's a very difficult issue to deal with because not all the victims are ready to come out, but we have to fight it. The laws are there, but laws on themselves, they don't mean anything. It's people that have to implement.
I would like us to talk about some of your country's challenges. Land reform is among them. We know that white people in Namibia continue to own the majority of agricultural land, which means that black people really don't have much of a say. This is troubling, is it not?
Truly, land is a serious problem in this country. We still have some of our white citizens, and more particularly the absent land owners who are occupying the land. We have now a law on the land bill, which was only recently finalized in terms of drafting. And it is my hope and my wish that can help us to speed up the land of the redistribution.
I have no idea you would have seen what happened to South Africa. President Cyril Ramaphosa spoke about land expropriation, and Donald Trump, the president of the United States, became extremely upset.
Yeah, for us, one can be upset, but it will be a concern to me it will be a concern to the government if something was done outside the Namibian laws. But if we are doing it in accordance to our laws, we will not allow interference.
Youth unemployment remains a challenge. How are you looking to deal with this?
You might be aware that Namibia is a mineral-based economy. And now we are saying value addition, we have to be serious about it so that we can create jobs for our people instead of just always exporting raw material. We have also to create jobs in other sectors like the creative industry. It's a very big industry. You can create jobs. So now our educational institution have to retrain our young people, rescale them, give them new skills so that they can be accommodated in the new industries that are coming up.
The new emerging industry of oil and gas need to be managed in the manner that maximizes benefit for all Namibians. It's a new industry. It needs closer supervision. Therefore, the management of this industry will fall under the office of the President. There is no ministry that you cannot plan to eradicate poverty in our country. Therefore, all government offices, ministries, and agencies will be required to put in place programs that aimed at eradicating poverty and speed up socio-economic development. My personal journey with the United Nations begins in 1974, where I have had the privilege to serve my country and Africa in various capacities within the halls of this distinguished global organ. Today, I am deeply honored and humbled to stand before you as the 5th President of the Republic of Namibia with a mandate to deliver services and to ensure justice of all inhabitants of our country. As a woman, I encourage every girl and woman by affirming that your voice matters, your vision is needed, as it will pave you a way to the helm of whatever institution you are serving. Madam President, Namibia's 8th administration is built on the strong foundation and legacy of our predecessors under the theme Unity in Diversity, Natural Resources Beneficiation, and Youth Empowerment for Sustainable Development. That theme aims to shape and transform the Namibian economy through value addition and other economic activities. Namibia is taking a deliberate step to institutionalize gender equality and advance human rights. I'm standing before you as the President or Head of State, and I'm serving along a female Vice President, a female Speaker of the National Assembly, and the Secretary General of the SWAPO Party, the ruling party in Namibia, who is also a woman. As well as I can say, I shouldn't be the one to say that, but I believe you'll be impressed to say that I have 57% women representation in the cabinet. And I've done this to affirm that equality in leadership is not symbolic, but it is structural. To young women aspiring to political leadership, my advice is this: lead with competency, act with clarity, and refuse to be defined by convictions. Your future is in your hands, and with integrity, the sky is the limit.
My people, Namibia just quietly did something no other country in the world has ever done.
As President, I'm happy to highlight our historical milestone. Namibia now has a female President, Vice President, Speaker of the National Assembly, and Secretary General of the SWAPO Party, the ruling party in Namibia. And women hold 57% of the cabinet, including key ministries such as finance, health, education, international relations, and trade.
That's right. Namibia is now the first country in the world where women hold all the top government positions: president, vice president, speaker of the National Assembly, secretary general of the ruling party. And get this, the cabinet is majority women, 57%. And it doesn't stop there. Namibia has closed 81.1% of its gender gap, ranking 8th globally and number 1 in Africa. That's not just a headline, that's a blueprint. But you won't see it in the evening news because it's not the kind of progress they want you to know Africa is making. So the next time they tell you Africa is behind, remind them of Namibia, the small Southern African country where women literally rule.
Not one, not two, but 3 women now sit at the helm of Namibia. Namibia has literally just made history as the first country in the entire world where women hold the top 3 leadership positions: president, vice president, and speaker of the National Assembly. At the United Nations General Assembly, President Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah called this moment more than a national milestone. She described it as a symbol of progress and equality, not just for Namibia, but for women everywhere. Now, I want us to imagine if this didn't stand alone. What if other African nations followed suit? Imagine what would change if more women were at the very top of government. Policies might shift, priorities could broaden, and representation, I guess it would feel more inclusive. Namibia has set the pace. Now the question is, who will be next?
I feel like Africa in the next 5 years will be on a different level. We will have moved from where we are right now to a different level whereby Western powers will no longer marginalize us. For the longest time, Africa has been put down by these Western powers. They have overpowered us. They have managed to lure our presidents to agreeing on what they want to do in our own continent. But I love that there is this rise of presidents who are bold, who are courageous, and ready to condemn the Western powers. They are ready to tell them, you know what, not in my country anymore. You're not going to touch any of our resources. You're not going to bring any of your programs in our country. And I love this for our continent, Africa. You see, Africa for the longest time, we have been put down. We have been seen as the inferior, while the superior powers are the Western powers, while the superior people are the Western people. Whatever they say, we do it. If they just even cough, we do whatever they say. But right now, we have presidents like Ibrahim Traore. He's a no-nonsense president and he's young, which is making me so happy that, you know what, Africa is going to change. And it is going to change because of the leaders that we are having currently and those who we are going to vote for. And this is a call for my fellow Africans. Let's vote wisely. As you have seen, age is no longer... back then people were looking at age. They would see that someone who is older is wiser and has good leadership skills. But Ibrahim Traore has proven that, you know what, age is not a thing. You might be young but very wise. You might be young but move a nation from one point to another. And so I'm going to talk about some of the achievements of Madam, or let me call her Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah. She has a very beautiful name. I just love how bold she is. She's very courageous, and whenever she speaks, there is just that thing that is making me love her. She's so bold that most African presidents are not. Actually, the reason as to why we are still lagging behind as a continent is because of our presidents. They listen to everything that they are being told by the Western powers. If the Western powers tell them, let's do this in your country, they are ready. If they tell them move these people from this point to that point, they are ready. But we have presidents like Dr. Netumbo who is saying no to our resources, no to the people of our nation, of our African nations, no to things that belong to us. You see, they need to beg us. We are no longer the Africa that used to beg, but the Western powers are the ones who are going to beg from us. Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaito has seen that Africa has a potential. It is just that we don't have those people who are ready to fight for Africa. We have presidents who are there, but they are not ready to fight for our resources. They are not ready to fight for our people. They are not ready to fight for our spaces in those international programs. So let me call spaces, you see. But Dr. Netumbo is showing us that, you know what, it is possible. And the fact that she is a woman and the way the world have placed women on the downside of the hierarchy, I'm just like, you know what, women are so powerful and women are so strong, women are wise. Dr. Netumbo is proving a point to all other nations that even women can do it, not only men but women. Imagine in a span of she was put in office in March and now we are in November, but she has done a lot than most African presidents who have been on the seat for many, many years have not done. So this shows that people should stop looking down on women. They should give women this chance to lead them, because we are wise, we are strong, and we are bold, and we are able to lead a nation. So let me talk about some of her achievements since she became the president. She just announced that starting 2026, public university and vocational training will be free. No tuition fees, no registration fees for young people in Namibia. That's huge, you know. Education is the most important thing in young people's life. Yeah, today we can say that those papers don't matter, but there is a difference between someone who has gone to school and someone who has not. And you see, for many parents, they are not able to take their kids to school because they don't have money, they don't have a way of paying the school fees. But for this Namibian president, she has seen that if she does this, if she takes the burden away from the parents, most children, many children will be in school. And a country that has educated people is a very powerful country, because there is just something that education puts in you. You might not get a job through education, but there is this wisdom that comes from education. You can see that it empowers young people. It opens our minds. We are able to see things from a different perspective as compared to someone who has never stepped in school. Kudos to this woman. I feel like many African presidents should emulate this and also remove the fees burden from the parents in their nations. Like, this will be a major move in these African nations, because many children will be educated, many children will have wisdom, many children will have knowledge and skills to empower themselves to make something that can earn them something, instead of having jobless young people, many jobless young people in the nation. We will have so many young people who are empowered, who have skills, who have knowledge, and can stand for themselves. Another achievement is that she created a fund worth hundreds of millions of Namibian dollars to support youth-owned small businesses. You see, many young people have ideas. We do have business ideas, but we don't have where to start from. We need the capital, but you don't have where to start from. You don't have someone who can lend you some money to start a business. But this Namibian president, Dr. Netumbo, she is ready to fund these small businesses owned by young people. And you know what? She's very clever, because after someone is done with school, whereby you didn't have the burden to pay school fees, it was free. Someone is learned, someone has a business idea, and you have a place where you can get some funds which will enable you to start your business. You see, that is a great move for the nation, because now they will not have many jobless youths on the streets. the number of thieves, because the only reason as to why people steal is due to lack. But if you enable these people to have something to put food on the table, it will reduce the number of thieves in the nation, and the nation will move forward, because if many people have businesses, they create capital, they improve the economic status of a nation. So this is a good one, and I applaud her for doing this. This is a very great move. Another thing that she did, she reduced the number of ministries from 20 something to 14. You see, there is no point in having so many ministries in the government, whereby even some ministries don't do their works. You'd find that they're just there enjoying the government money, like the people's money. Instead of this money being used to help people, it is used to pay them their salaries, but they're doing nothing. So this is a great one. It is good to have a small number of people who you can manage, who you can hold accountable and ask, I gave you this amount of money for your, maybe let's talk about a county. What did you do about it? Like, where is the money? What project did you deal on? You see? Most of these African nations, we have so many ministries in the government that do nothing. You'll just hear that ministries do for what and what and what. But if you look at that sector, for example, the health sector, people are still dying because there's lack of medicines in the country or in the county, lack of good roads, you see. But the ministers are being given money. So the first thing that she did when she got into office, she reduced the number of ministries, and this is so good. It enables her to even manage them, even if she's not the one, but she can see what work are these ministries doing in the country. At least someone can be held accountable, instead of having too many people who are just enjoying money that should be used on improving the nation. So this is a great one. Kudos to you, Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitu. Another achievement is that she pledged to build 10,000 low-cost houses every year to fight housing shortages and improve living conditions. Wow, this is just so good, you see. Like, most people in these African countries are suffering. Like, we have many street families. People have nowhere to go. They have no place to call their home. They have no place to provide shelter for them. But for this woman coming out and promising to build 10,000 low-costing houses just to reduce housing shortages, it's such a great promise and a great move for the nations. I love that she's not only just a president, but she's someone, I feel like she's a mother who is ready to take care of her kids. Like, she doesn't mind how many kids do I have. As long as she has the capability, she is in the office, she has the resources, she has the power to say, you know what, let's take this amount and do this, let's do this. This is someone that should serve for many, many years. How I wish that when she finishes her term, they can bring her again, because the improvement that is going to be seen in Namibia. Actually, Namibia is not heard as much as often, but this woman is going to make Namibia to be known internationally. I love that she's protective of the country's resources. Unlike other presidents who are ready to give away our resources just to get some dollars, this woman is really protecting her country's resources. She is protecting the mineral resources that they have, and she's actually urging Namibians to use the resources to benefit from them, instead of them exporting to other nations who are benefiting from them. These mineral resources that we have as a continent, if we really use them well for the growth of our nation, we are going to move far, we are going to move on top, you see. But for most African leaders, they are ready to give away our African resources, our mineral resources are way just to gain something. They don't have the mind of let's use these resources on our own as raw materials to make things that we can even export to other nations, instead of these nations, especially the Western powers, coming into our countries using our resources, and then we are the ones going to import from them. No, those are just some of her achievements. She's new in office, and we are still expecting more from her, because from the way we have seen the energy that she has, the boldness that she has, she's a person who is going to move that nation, Namibia, very far. It is going to move very far. So this is just to urge fellow African leaders. Do you see what your fellow African leader is doing? Can't you do the same for your nations? Leaders should be courageous. They should be brave. They should be ready to fight for their people, not be ready to give away their people, not be ready to give away their own resources to other people. Leaders like Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah and Ibrahim Traore are the perfect examples of the leaders that Africa need. Africa needs leaders who are bold, who are courageous, who are ready to protect whatever is ours. For the longest time, we have been looked down upon. We have been associated with diseases, with hunger, with poverty. But you know what? We are coming on strong. We are going to rise as a nation. We are going to be so powerful that the Western powers will even be shocked. They are not ready for this. So guys, when you vote wisely in whatever nation you are. You see, unity is strength, and when we put this kind of good leaders in position, we are going to move far. Leaders who are united, who are ready to take space. Like you see, they're not ready to leave our spaces for people. No. So guys, let me know your thoughts about this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share the video. I will really appreciate. Let's meet in the next one. Bye.